The boy, Rowan, remembered the flames. They devoured his village, the screams of his parents echoing a horrifying symphony against the crackling inferno. He was just a child, barely 10, when the raiders came, leaving him an orphan in the vast, untamed Whispering Woods. Fear, cold, and hunger became his constant companions. The forest was not a gentle place. It pulsed with life, but life that was often predatory. Giant spiders spun webs like shimmering death traps. Wolves with eyes like burning embers stalked him, and the earth trembled with the heavy footfalls of colossal boars. But the most terrifying inhabitants were the dragons. Not the majestic, benevolent creatures of legend, but wild, territorial beasts with scales like obsidian and breath of scorching fire. Rowan learned to survive. He learned to read the forest, to understand the subtle shifts in the wind, the rustle of leaves that heralded danger. He learned to climb the tallest trees, to find hidden springs, to eat the bitter berries that tasted like ash but staved off starvation. He learned to avoid the dragons, to recognize their territories, to hear the thunder of their wings long before they appeared. One day, he stumbled upon a dragon's nest, abandoned except for a single, cracked egg. Curiosity overcame fear, and he carefully sheltered the fragile shell. When it hatched, a small, iridescent dragon emerged, its eyes wide and trusting. He named her Spark. Spark was different. She was small, intelligent, and possessed a gentle nature. Rowan raised her, teaching her to hunt, to fly, to understand his simple commands. A bond formed between them, a silent understanding that transcended the boundaries of species. Years passed. Rowan grew into a lean, resilient young man, his skin tanned and scarred, his eyes holding the wisdom of the wild. Spark grew too, becoming a magnificent dragon, her scales shimmering like 1,000 jewels. Their existence became a harmonious dance with the rhythms of the forest. Then the tremors began. Not the usual tremors of the earth, but the tremors of war. The kingdom of Eridor, bordering the Whispering Woods, was under attack. The Dark Lord Kael, a sorcerer of immense power, had unleashed his armies, his monstrous creations tearing through the kingdom's defenses. Refugees fled into the forest, their faces etched with terror. Rowan, watching from the shadows, saw the fear, the desperation. He remembered the flames, the loss. He knew he couldn't stand by and watch another kingdom burn. He mounted Spark, and together they soared above the forest canopy towards the besieged city of Eridor. The sight was horrifying. Kael's monstrous army, a grotesque mix of orcs, trolls, and animated stone golems, laid siege to the city walls. The sky was choked with smoke, and the air vibrated with the clang of steel and the roar of battle. Rowan and Spark descended like a whirlwind of fire and fury. Spark's flames incinerated the enemy ranks, her claws tore through the stone golems, and her roars echoed like thunder, scattering the orcs. Rowan, armed with a bow and arrows tipped with dragon fire, moved with the agility of a forest predator. The defenders of Eridor, seeing the magnificent dragon and the wild warrior, rallied. They fought with renewed vigor, inspired by the unexpected aid. The tide of battle turned. Kael's army, thrown into disarray, began to retreat.